Hello everybody and welcome to vlog 4. Today you'll find us in the Greentech office, you won't find us out on site, and today we're going to take you through how to design a solar system and when you initially contact us of how everything works out and goes through. After the initial contact, when you've contacted us, whether it be via the online form, a phone call, we're going to ask you for a few details from you, which allows us to start designing and building your bespoke design for your property. So the first thing that we'll ask obviously will be your name and address. We also may ask for your what 3 words which will correspond to your address. Which also is important is that we ask for your annual usage, so we get an idea of what you're using throughout the year and we can design a system to the size that your usage is, so we can get you as far as relying from the grid as possible. So what I'm going to do today is we're just going to pick an address that I know, but we're going to use alias for someone, you know, Mr. Smith, we're going to call it today, and then we're going to take you through of how we design your bespoke system that fits your property. We're going to call this project Mr. Smith. Phone number is going to be 1, and customer email, I'm just going to put our own email on here today. So we've got info@Greentech evsolar.co.uk. I'm not going to say the address, but we'll edit it out. So I'm going to put the address in now, but we'll edit this out of the final cut. And then we'll go set from address, and this should find pretty close of where it is. Now we've put the address in and it comes up on the software. We have our boundary line here, and this is the properties that we're looking at designing on. These are the roofs here. We've also added on the trees in the background, just for any potential shading that might happen. So now we've got the boundary outline and all the roofs in order. We can go to next. And it will give you the potential of how good these roofs are for having solar PV on. So we're going to pick the 2 roofs, the southwest and the other southwest roof. There's a few other roofs on there, but for this design video we're going to try and keep it a little bit more simple and put this on here. So we're going to go next now. Now to take you to of what panels you want to use. So we're going to pick the ACO Gen 3 475s. That's our favourite panel at the moment. One for the look of them and also the output of them. Once you start using this program and you start building up more designs, it will have more and more stuff that you can choose from. So we're going to choose the ACO 475s. Click on the panels down here that we've selected. We'll press select. And then it will give you a roof dimension here of what the satellite's already picked up. So you can drag the panels over like this and do it one by one, or you can just use these 2 here to have on portrait or landscape to auto fill it for you. Sometimes you have to play a little bit about with it to maybe fit on a few more panels. The boundary there represents the 400mm boundary along to keep within MCS regulations. So first, I think that may be better for a portrait design. So now we've picked the panels. We have 6 in portrait here. I don't think you're going to fit any more on there, so that's any good. That's good, we haven't got to play about with that. So then over here on this section, you get to pick the mounting rail. So for purposes, we'll just stick with the Renusol here. And then it will also work out how many rails you need, how many mids, end clamps, and how many feet that you're going to need for the roof. So that all works that out for you. We always add bird protection as standard on our installations on here. So we're just going to pick the Fastenal bird protection here. So then that is that array done. So then we're going to go down to here, click on the roof on the southwest side. We're going to click back on now, and we can fit 4 panels on now. We'll have a play about of it and we'll change it. We can only actually fit 2 in landscape there. so it's better we can have 4 in portrait. Again, pick the Renisol rail, pick the bird protection, and that's it. That's the panel design layout done. Now we're going to pick the inverter. It's going to give you lots of options here, but what we're going to do is we're going to design this with a hybrid inverter and with some batteries. So we're going to look for the SIG Energy one, which will be under hybrid inverters somewhere. There they are. So we'll click on SIG Energy, and then it gives you the percentage output loss of it. So we can see up here that the peak panel output is going to be about 4,750 watts. So that's going to be the kilowatt peak. It will give you the optimum inverter size, but what you do really want to take in consideration as well is the discharge and the charge rates of the battery. So I'd say the best inverter there is going to be a 5 kilowatt. So we'll pick that 5 kilowatt inverter, press go. And what we're going to do now is allocate the panels to what strings that we have. So up here it says we have 10 panels. On the first array it was a 6 panel, so we'll click the 6, and then on the second array we're going to click the 4. Now it's going to show you that you've allocated all your solar panels to the inverter input. We're going to scroll that down, and we're just going to pick 1 battery for this. And that's all the electrical components added. So now it's going to ask you about isolators. So we're going to have 1 4-pole 2-string isolator full of DC. That's great. Sometimes you don't have to use a DC isolator because it may already be built into the inverter, but we're going to add this on. So we've got 2 DC isolators here. Go to next. This is the run of the DC cables. It's quite hard to work this out from an initial drawing because, you know, all DC runs are going to be different depending on what route the customer wants you to take. But we're going to keep it at a 10-meter run just for the ease of the video. It will also give you the voltage drops here, whether you're in parameters of it, which we are in these. So we're going to go next to the AC isolators. It's only giving you 1 here, but we like to use 2 in our installation. So at the end of the financial part of this video, I will add on another AC isolator. This is the bi-directional meter. You know, you can pick your favourite one. M-Light's good. So now this is going to take you through all the little extra bits that you may need. To have a scroll through that, we have our own label sheets, but we will add these on just, you know, for cost. They're only about £1 or 2 each. So it also adds on the SIG Energy floor mounting kit that we're going to need. We'll just scroll through down there. We don't need no branch connectors. A lot of this is already done for you, but you may want to add, you know, a consumer unit on or something like that. But just scroll down through there, just check if you need anything, you know, like twin and earth cable. We have lots of that on the van anyway and stuff like that. But it's good to scroll through this and just check if you need, you know, any more of this. What we'll do is we'll add on a deck type for cable entry. We'll add 2 of them. There's all a few different deck types that, depending on what tile that you have, will make you choose what one that you need. Don't need no bird blocker clips because that comes with what we had earlier. We also have lots of cable ties in the van. Great. Scroll back up. Now we're at the image stage where we are. We're going to set the image, which will put it into the customer proposal of what it's actually going to show of how the panels look. Nice 3D image there. It also brings up on here of what materials that you've used. So now that's all done. We can scroll down, check there's nothing on there, which is good. So now we're going to go to the performance side, which is actually a really important part of this design. We're going to allocate the panels. So that'll be one string of 6, that'll be one string of 4. So when you initially contact us, whether it be the contact form or phone call or anything like that, we're going to ask you some of these questions, whether you're home all day, whether you're out at work, you're out all day, but we're going to assume today that someone's home all day. And this is what I was talking about earlier. This is a really important number for us to get your return on investment calculation right. So just as a nice easy round number, we're going to go for 4,999 kilowatt hours annual use of electricity. There's no auxiliary ancillary services. Excuse me. So we're going to go done. So now this gives you the shading factors and the sun paths of how they're facing. So we've got one now. So this red represents a little bit of shade that you may get on input 2, probably from the house that's sitting in front, but you know, from sunrise to sunset, this is a really good roof for solar panels to go on. Now we're going to go next. Now it's going to load up the data. So we're going to stay on annual usage. We're going to click the tariffs and check that the tariffs are right. We will also ask you what tariffs that you're on at the moment, but a lot of people do switch their tariffs after their solar PV is installed. So we're going to stick with this flat tariff here of a 27p per kilowatt hour, and then the export tariff will be about 15p per kilowatt hour. You can get different tariff rates now, but this is a pretty flat tariff rate, so we're going to stick with that. We don't know about a limit export yet. That'll be determined whether you're G98 or 99, so we're going to keep that off. So now the program has done all its calculations. You're going to get a lot of data now come in. So annually, this is predicted, obviously due to weather and stuff like that, maybe a little bit over, maybe a little bit under. It's going to produce 3,707 kilowatt hours a year, which, you know, since we had that number there, that's taking you more than nearly 75% off of the grid. And it's going to break you down from what you get from the solar, from the battery, and also from the grid. There's a lot of information in this. It's very important when your quote and design is come over that you go through these numbers. Shows you the financial benefits and all of exports and imports and stuff like that. The battery utilisation. So now we're going to go next. So we're going to stick to the MCS calculations for the performance task. This will also work itself out. So we're going to save that and exit, and that's that part done. Structural. So this is the structural integrity of the roof. So this roof is rafters. So we're going to go next. And this calculates all the weight loading, how much the solar PV array is going to weigh, and also we're going to calculate in the span tables and whether the roof is suitable for the solar to go on there. So we're going to calculate that. So which is good. Green is always good. So an increase of less than 15% in the load imposed on a roof is not considered to be a significant change, and that's under the Building Regulations 2010 approved document A. Next, so we're on the span tables now. because we done like the Magic one, it already knows it's got a 26-degree pitch. These rafter spacing, they're usually about 400, so we're going to go with that, which is also the lowest you can have here. But this, after you've accepted, you know, this initial design and quote, after that's done, we'll come to site or your property and we'll check all of these here just to check that they match up with everything. Rafter breadth or the rafter depth, we're going to say they're 47 mil for this, and we're going to go 150. So the longest, clearest span of rafter, so that's from like bottom to top, we'll go 2 meters. But really, because the customer's not going to get up in the loft and they're not going to possibly know this information here will be done on a site visit. So now it's going to check the wind loading. So we know that from the satellite imagery that this is a dual pitch roof. Wind zone 1. Average ridge height is about 5 meters. Above sea level, distance from the sea. I know this property well, so I know that we're about 2 kilometers from the sea, from the good old River Thames. Click that off. Terrain, it's urban. Topography, there's no significant topography because it's quite a built up area. Yeah, and then it gives you the fixing details as well. Number of roof hooks, area of the solar array just under 12 meters squared. Fixing length 70 meters, fixing diameter 5 millimeters, fixings per roof hook, which is 2. Next, we're going to go to the summary. Everything's clicked on here. And now we're going to go to basically do exactly the same as what we've done for the roof southwest to the other roof, so roof number 2. You can see that all of these are ticked well, so that's what we want to look for. All the green ticks just shows that everything's all filled out and we've got all the information that we need. So now we're going to go. It already auto-generates your schematic, which is really important. We're obviously going to print this off, put it next to the installation when it's done, but it just shows you a nice, easy drawing of how this system is set out. So if we start from the bottom, we've got the DNO cutout switch, we've got the import meter, we've got the consumer unit, then onto the AC isolator, then to the PV generator, then onto the next AC isolator, then onto the Sig and Store 5 kilowatt hybrid inverter. We've got the battery storage, which comes off here, the 2 DC isolators, and then onto the 2 strings of panels. Double check that, which is good. You can generate a PDF there to save for yourself, but we'll just click on done. So now we're going to go on to the financial side of things. So Easy PV is linked to Midsummer Wholesaler, and this is all their prices. You know, some may get bigger prices, some may get smaller prices depending on what you buy. But the beauty of this program is that you know you can use it just for design, and you don't have to buy from Midsummer. You can get from any wholesaler what you want to use, and you can edit your prices in here. So that's got everything on there that you need to do this installation, but it doesn't add up your markup services. So what we usually do is, so if we type in installation, make sure you spell it right. G99, which is your what you're applying for from the grid. MCS, which would be your micro certification scheme certificate, and also your insurance back guarantee. We're a member of HISE, so we go insurance back guarantee. This is just an estimate, but we're going to estimate this job to cost of £2,000 to install. It is probably worth mentioning as well that all these prices are like a flat price, and then you've got your 20% markup or whatever markup that you want to have on your materials. I'm going to set it to 20% today. Also, don't forget to add your scaffolding costs. You'll have, or any installer or company, they'll have their own set rates with their own scaffolders, but we're going to say this scaffolding costs £500. So that total system has now come to £8,494. This has got everything included in it. So this includes the installation, the G99, the MCS certificate, and the HISE insurance back guarantee. It's quite a small install. You know, this is just a round number here to show what we do, but it may be more, it may be less, depending on what job it's going to be. So now we're coming to the end of it. You know, 32 minutes in, not too bad to do one design. So you can add a customizer introduction text like, hello, this is Greentech, thanks for choosing us to design and quote for you. You can add that in there. It also asks, will this system be MCS accredited, which is yes. It'll give you a quote reference, the quote validity of 30 days. So it's only, you can have, you know, you can have a breakdown of prices on there, you can show line items, but we'll keep it on only show total for now. So what you can do is generate a PDF there. This may take 30 seconds or so to load. So we have all this preset already, you know, nice SIG energy stack there. Proposals for Mr. Smith at this postcode address. It has all our accreditations and labels at the bottom to make it look nice and professional. And now everything everything that we've gone through now is compacted it into a PDF file full of proposal. So the estimated payback for this would be 10 years, which is a really important number to customers because they always, you know, people get solar PV for a couple reasons. The main reason is how much they can save on their electricity bills. And the second reason is for a cleaner environment. So this system is estimated to pay back within 10 years. And the first year savings of £921, which is pretty good, to be fair. So this gives you your annual CO2 savings. So you're saving 768 kilograms of CO2 going into the atmosphere a year. You've got 8.8 kilowatt hours of usable battery storage. Gives you a nice layout of how the panels are going to look on your roof. And then it will take you through everything here. So this is the panels that we're going to use. This is the inverter. This is the battery. This is the mounting kit. Now, more roof diagrams and more information of stuff like that. Some path diagrams for each array. This is what the system is expected to generate a year, 3,707 kilowatt hours per year. This is the battery storage. So the battery storage reduces your grid dependence, 61% total reduction on grid dependence with the battery. So this is 27% of your energy with this solar PV installation. 27% is going to come from the solar. 34% from the battery and 39% from the grid. So you're at a 60% total reduction from the grid. So this is your energy explained, your annual generation again, also your annual consumption. These are the financial benefits that it talks you through of how much money you're going to save before the PV and also after with solar PV and battery installed. This is the flat tariff rate that we've put in. This is a good one. I like this one. It's quite overlooked, to be fair. So the environmental benefits. So your current electricity supply produces 1,035 kilograms of CO2. But this tells you now of how much you're going to get down. Compares it with a car ride and also the CO2 absorbed by 35 trees. A list of the components that we've proposed for you. Total cost. And then this allows you for the to sign. Sorry about that, but that's different there. We'd have to change that. So we never ask for 100% total up cost front. We usually ask for a 10% deposit after the customer has signed it. And then we never ask for a payment until all your certificates are in line and you're 100% happy with the job. So once you've accepted this, and then we'll go over to the MCS paperwork to change that over, you'll be asked to sort of pay a deposit of £849. So, and then you won't have to pay a penny until you're 100% happy with the job and that it's that all your paperwork's in order and everything like that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to send that to the customer. It does everything for you there. You know, I've only typed in, well, our own address here. So I'm going to send it to ourselves. Press send. It's going to send an email for you, and that is it. So that's how pretty much easy it is to design a solar PV system for your property. Here at Greentech, we don't offer, 10 panels, a battery for a certain amount. We always go and have a look at your property first. We ask you about your needs, and then we'll design a bespoke system that's right for your property. So, you'll see on these Facebook ads, these Instagram ads and everything like that, battery, solar, 5,999, never 6,000, always something 999. Please don't get suckered into these ads, because at the end of the day, they're just salesmen on the end of the phone trying to sell you a product which is not bespoke for your property. You want to find a company that does everything in-house, and what will do from design and to installation to maintenance, all in one house. So they don't use cheap subcontractors. They're not a sales company. They're a fully fledged electrical installation or electrical engineers company. So that's how easy it is to do a solar PV design for a property. So I hope you got some tips and tricks of how we do it here at Greentech. Obviously every property is different. We've just used a property that I know for here. And after this is done and they're happy with the price, then after, what we usually do is we'll go to site, we'll get some more information, of where the inverter, they want the inverter homed or housed, or everything's going to go there, cable runs. We'll also go and get some drone footage up of the roof and everything like that. And we'll just basically come, have a chat with you, no hard sales. We won't try and get you to sign anything on the dotted line. We'll just come and have a chat, see what your needs are, and then we'll go from there. Very informal, nothing too intense, and yeah, we'll go from there. So now that's done, we can save that to here. That'll be sent over. Hopefully we'll hear from you in the next couple of days or so. We won't keep chasing you up to see, to put any pressure on you. We understand that it's a big decision and a lot of money for families So we'll just wait to hear from you. So that's how we do some of our designs on solar PV here at Greentech. Hopefully you got some tips and tricks and it helped you along the way. Cheers.